The movie Vertigo, 1958, starring Jimmy Stewart with Kim Novak. And the premise of the story, you see, he's hanging from a building there, probably 15 stories up. He's just hanging there by his hands. And a cop tries to help him, save him, and a cop accidentally falls himself and splats down below on the concrete. Jimmy Stewart ends up with a phobia of heights, the fear of heights. And that's basically what this story is about, is his fear of heights and how it controls his life and limits his life. This made me think of the time I developed a phobia. It was claustrophobia, fear of tight places. And it happened in Las Vegas, probably around 1978. It was in Las Vegas in a real estate convention. And at that time, conventions, you took the place that you had your lunch from the conferences. You had your conference on the first floor. This bunch of real estate people, but you had to go to lunch up on like the top of the building. I mean, not the top of the building, but the top floor. So you took the elevator up. And we're all jamming into these elevators because there's hundreds of us in this real estate conference. So the elevator opens up. All the people I'm working with jam into the elevator. I mean, jam. And I don't want to go in. I stand outside because I'll wait till the next elevator. But one of the people I'm working with, it says, "Come on, quartytypo, get in here. Come on, get in here." I said, okay. I squeeze into the elevator. We are shoulder to shoulder. It's hot in the elevator. There's no air conditioning in elevators. We start going up to where they're serving lunch. The elevator suddenly stops between floors. Someone tries to open the door and they see they're between the floors. And they yell, "Close that door." Now we're in this elevator, we're stuck, it's not moving. It's hot because there's no air conditioning in the elevator. We're shoulder to shoulder, tight like sardines. And someone starts yelling, "Help! Help! Help!" And hopefully somebody pushed the button. Anyways, we're in there for about 20 minutes. And I'm looking up at the ceiling to see if we can get out through the ceiling of this elevator. But I don't try it. Anyways, after about 20 minutes, the elevator finally starts moving again and takes us up to the lunch floor, top floor. That was the beginning of my claustrophobia, my phobia. After that, I was afraid to get in an elevator. I did not want to get in an elevator. I wanted to walk up or walk down any building that I was in. Thankfully, I lived in South Florida where we didn't have a lot of tall buildings, so you could walk up and down. But Sharon and I were in Mexico, and we were touring one of these like Chichen Itza in a tomb. And we had to get into a very narrow passage with a lot of people and go up into it. It's like we're going into a pyramid. And in the center of this pyramid was a leopard, a stone carved leopard. And that was the whole object of walking inside this pyramid, head bent down. You could only walk single file. When I got in that thing, I could not turn around because I could not go back. I was petrified with claustrophobia. I wanted out of there. This was another confined space, like the elevator. I wanted out. My body screamed, "Get me out of here, get me out of here." But I had to keep moving. And then finally we got to the leopard, and I barely glanced at the leopard. I just wanted out of that place because of my claustrophobia. And then we got out. Thankfully, we were out, and I felt much better. It took me years to get over that claustrophobia. I'd get in an elevator, and once it stopped on me, but there's only about 2 or 3 people in the elevator. My first impulse was I wanted to sit down on the floor because I was going to pass out. That's how bad these phobias are. You start sweating, you can't even stand anymore, you just want to pass out. And that's what this movie is about, Vertigo. His problems with the fear of heights. Eventually, I got over my claustrophobia. And now today I realize what phobias are. All of them. Whether the fear of heights or claustrophobia. Phobias are the fear of dying. Because I thought I was going to die in that elevator. From either lack of air, being in a tight place, and it never moving again. But all phobias are about dying. That's the central theme about it. Eventually, I got over my phobia, and hopefully I will never have it again. But this movie brought it all back. Vertigo, 1958, with James Stewart.